Have you ever watched a deeply painful wrong go entirely unpunished? It's kind of one of the most agonizing, universally human experiences we share, right? This desperate ache for things to be made right in a severely broken world. Well, today, we're jumping right into this explainer to explore a powerful, ancient vision that hits that exact feeling right on the head. We're looking at the fifth seal, specifically from Revelation chapter 6, verses 9 through 11. It's a text that absolutely doesn't shy away from the trauma of injustice. Instead, it weaves it into this massive cosmic story about waiting for God's true justice to finally arrive.
Now, if you've been tracking with the story through the first four seals, you know they are incredibly intense. I mean, they're filled with the chaotic sounds of judgment from the four horsemen sweeping across the earth. But suddenly, the vision just changes. The horses are gone, the thundering hoofs completely vanish. It's literally like a cinematic jump cut. All that relentless action is abruptly replaced by this eerie, sudden stillness. You know that kind of breath-holding silence? The kind that tells you something profoundly important is about to be revealed?
The vision shifts, moving to the altar. So our perspective drops from a sweeping view of the earth down to a highly specific, sacred space. Who exactly is there? Our source text defines them as faithful witnesses, specifically the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God and for the testimony they held. These are the people who absorbed the absolute worst of the world's brokenness, believers who paid the ultimate price for holding tightly to their faith. They didn't just casually believe when it was easy, they remained steadfast even when faithfulness literally cost them everything. Their presence here really anchors the entire story in the reality of profound human sacrifice.
The cry for justice, a loud voice.
Because that solemn, heavy quiet beneath the altar, it doesn't last. The silence shatters into a desperate, unmistakable cry that really forms the emotional core of this entire vision. Listen to the sheer desperation here. How long, O Lord, holy and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth? That question, how long? Man, that is the universal anthem of the suffering. It's not some polite, sanitized prayer. It is a raw, deeply human plea for righteous judgment against extreme suffering. They're looking backward at the incredible injustice they endured, crying out for the cosmic scales to finally be balanced.
But notice, this is a cry for righteous judgment. Their faith is fully intact. They declare God is completely holy and entirely true. And this is a totally crucial takeaway for us. Waiting in agony for justice doesn't mean you have to doubt God's goodness or his character. They aren't questioning who God is. They're simply asking when his ultimate justice will finally break through into the physical world. It's that painful tension of knowing God is entirely good, yet still living in the terrible not yet of unpunished evil.
The divine response. The comfort of rest.
You can almost feel that desperate how long just hanging in the air. Well, the tension of their agonizing wait is suddenly met with an incredible release. God's answer to their heartbreaking plea isn't silence. He doesn't ignore them, and he certainly doesn't tell them to just get over it. Instead, God responds with two incredibly tender, specific actions. First, a white robe was given to each of them. And second, they were told to rest a little while longer. Think about the emotional weight of that. He's physically clothing them in honor, replacing the shame of their martyrdom with absolute purity and dignity. And then, he offers them rest. Rest is the ultimate antidote to their trauma. It's an incredibly intimate response from a creator who is completely present in their pain.
But there is a condition to this rest. Actually, it's more like a revelation. They are to wait until the number of their fellow servants is completed. And this reveals a profound, kind of challenging truth about the wait itself. The delay in justice isn't an accident. It's not because God is slow or weak or just not paying attention. No way. It's because God operates on a specific, completed timeline. Their waiting is part of a much larger ongoing story of redemption that includes fellow servants who are still on the earth, who will also face trials, and who also need time to complete their own testimonies.
Meaning of the robes. What it reveals about Jesus.
Because the giving of a white robe is so much more than just a random atmospheric detail. It builds an absolute masterclass of a contrast. On one hand, the world rejects, silences, and kills these witnesses. That's the brutal reality of human injustice, right? The world treats their faithfulness like something to be discarded. But look at how Jesus reacts. He receives them, he clothes them in robes of undeniable honor, and he remembers their testimony. The narrative starkly contrasts the sheer cruelty of worldly power with the gentle, restorative care of Christ. Basically what the world threw away, heaven immediately wraps in glory.
So, if you take one single thing away from this explainer, let it be this. Delayed justice is not denied justice. The fifth seal definitively proves that waiting for justice does not mean God is absent, and it for sure doesn't mean he's forgotten. He sees the suffering of the faithful with absolute clarity, and the certainty of his justice is rock solid. The wait is agonizing, yes, absolutely, but the wait has a divine purpose. The ultimate righting of wrongs is already hardwired into the end of the story.
Trusting in God's timing. Life application.
How do we take the profound truth of this cosmic vision and bring it right into our own moments of waiting today? Well, it leaves us with a very clear, highly challenging directive. Remain faithful when obedience is costly. This vision challenges us to hold on to our testimony, just like those before us did. In the real world today, the pushback from our culture can be intense, and the personal or professional cost of obedience might feel incredibly high, but the call is to remain steadfast. You are part of that same ongoing story, and this vision promises that your faithfulness in the face of cost is never, ever wasted. Because the ultimate truth we draw from this text is just profoundly comforting. God sees what others ignore, God hears what others dismiss, and God remembers what others forget. Seriously, just think about the weight of that for a second. During your painful wait for justice, when you feel entirely overlooked by the world around you, you are completely seen by God. When your cries for help are dismissed by others, they are perfectly heard in heaven. And long after the world moves on, your faithfulness is eternally remembered.
So I'll leave you with this. Can you trust God's timing even when justice seems hopelessly delayed? I want you to carry that question with you today. Let the profound reassurance of the fifth seal wash over whatever situation you're currently waiting on. The story doesn't end with the injustice. God is holy, He is true, and His ultimate justice is coming exactly on time. Thank you so much for stepping into this powerful explainer with us today. Keep seeking, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next one.